Hey, I can't even do it. Welcome back. What am I? Are you still rolling? Oh boy. What's the name of the business, Em? I can't even get my face to get serious. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lumber Capital Log Yard. Okay, there. Is that enough of an intro? I am being scolded left and right. I was pre-scolded before I even started to talk. You have no idea what I went through. Don't do this, Dad. Don't do that. Say this. Say that. Anyhow, welcome back to Lumber Capital Log Yard. What we are going to talk about today is your least favorite subject, and mine too. What happens when your day doesn't go as planned, and your week doesn't go as planned, and your month doesn't go as planned, and months add into years, and years add into decades? That's pretty rough to time something out that far. But is there ever a time to quit? And I think we all ask ourselves that, whether you're in a relationship or in a business, you own your business or you work for somebody, is there a time to quit? And much of that has to really be analyzed by you. You have to look at your upsides and your downsides, certainly. And I'm not a marriage counselor. I just have a successful marriage, so I know things from that end. But what I'll tell you is, if you own a business for yourself, if you're in a relationship that you care anything about, then the answer to the question is no, never. And I believe in asking good questions. As a matter of fact, I believe in asking better, best questions. And you shouldn't even ask yourself the question, should I quit? There's better questions to ask. And your mind is something that's so powerful that it seeks to answer whatever question you ask it. I read a book about that. I think the name of the book is Ask a More Beautiful Question. I could be wrong about that. A very good friend of mine recommended it to me, and it's a pretty enjoyable read, so you might want to look it up. Anyhow, the answer is, don't ask the question. We don't have the option in life, do we? One of the commandments is, thou shalt not murder, and that's where suicide comes in. That's murder of self, isn't it? But you ask yourself the ultimate question: do I want to go on with life? And you answer that by saying, no, I don't. And then you begin a story that ends your life but affects the lives of many other people for a long, 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 long ways out. So don't ask such a terrible question. Now, I'm preaching to the choir here because I constantly ask myself bad questions, but I'm now become cognizant of it, and I'm aware of it, and I'm aware that my questions are more powerful than statements, and they lead me in the directions that the questions go. So, have I thought about quitting? We faced 6 months of very discouraging things that have happened, and that's coming off winter. Winter's always hard. It's dark early. It's so gray here in Pennsylvania. Very little sun. And we did have a mild winter that was a bit of a respite. But those things, those melancholy times, short days, cold days, the wind blowing fiercely in your face, especially for the girls at the log yard. All those things, you stub your toe and it seems a lot worse than it really is. So do we as human beings created by a God that provided so much beauty all around us, what does he expect of us? It's actually to get up and to move on and to do the next day to make your plan the night before. I always do that. I always want to have my plan the night before. But you better expect that there are going to be some twists and turns in your day, and that your plan isn't going to go as planned, if you will. So one of the things that the YouTube channel has afforded myself is I have been able to talk to some men that have become my mentors. They're people that are very successful. And I spoke to one of them today, and I'm sure you'll watch our video tonight, so you're going to know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention your name because I think that'd be inappropriate, but thank you. And I appreciate your ear. I know your time is very valuable, and I appreciate your insight and your encouragement. So just to wrap things up, as just a motivational speech, I haven't done one in a long time. We don't have the opportunity sometimes to quit. I don't know. I don't know that you have to walk around with a smile on your face, but certainly your life, it affects those around you. You only see anywhere from 5 to 7, maybe 8 minutes of our lives in a day's time. And it's not always as awesome as maybe the videos portray. There's a lot of monotony in our day, and a lot of tension sometimes trying to get orders produced, and broken equipment, waiting on parts, and yet people having expectations of us meeting standards that we very frankly set for ourselves, creating our own little mind traps then, because we're not able to do what we said, which is very important to myself and to my family. That's keeping our word. It's producing what we say we can produce, delivering in a timely manner with a quality product, whether it's simple firewood or cookwood or lumber or logs. And Em came out to the log site today. I told her I'd do a video. I had something totally different planned. So again, I'm really talking to myself. I really created a very cool marking system for our logs, representing our landowners very well, and creating a system that the girls can understand any species and what to cut out of it back at the log yard. So I was going to share that with you today. But when I got here, that machine, the skidder here, would not make it up the hill, and I was shocked. We had maybe an inch of rain a couple days ago, but there was no way. I tried 2 different times. I started digging holes. I had all 4 tires locked up, and the thing was bouncing up and down, and I didn't want to damage my road. So that changed my plan. There sit my tire chains right there, with the shovel behind them. That's 4 tire chains. And I don't really want to put them on, because using them during the summer months really destroys them, and that's about $6,000 worth of iron sitting there, and I am going to need them on this site next winter, so I don't really want to wear them out or damage them. So I'm going to hold off, and my new plan is I'll go up, cut trees with the dozer, let this dry out for another day or 2, and then we'll start skidding in and producing again. But I can get pretty discouraged out here, and I'm by myself, and nobody's here saying, oh, Ken, you ought to do it this way or do it that way. You know, you're making it up, or I'm making it up as I go. And I do care about the land and the landowners I represent, and certainly just going out in Baja and with the skidder and tearing things up isn't my idea of a good representation. So I have to change plans. So to answer the question again, and just to remind you, no, you don't have an opportunity to stop. You don't have an opportunity to quit. And really, if you're really smart, smarter than me, you won't even ask that dumb question of whether you should or whether you shouldn't. You just figure out how to go on. And then, if you're really wise, you'll follow that commandment I talked about 8-9 months ago. God commanded us to be happy. If you figure that one out, leave me a comment, because I'd like to know, because sometimes I'm not. But but I appreciate everybody listening. I will try and get through these comments. I've been very, very busy getting home late at night, so I haven't responded to many comments, but since I did the video, I will try over the next 2 or 3 days to respond to your comments. So thank you for your time. Hope I didn't bore you. It's not as interesting as watching the girls cut lumber, I get it. But stick to it. Let's get it done and have a good summer coming up. Thank you.